Road, Short Hills. I am joining this meeting after listening to all the testimony. And again, I apologize for being so late, but we have a community that wants to speak and also more so wants to be heard. Beth, I found you very dismissive to several of the people that were speaking tonight after that incredible statement from Jerry Kung. The best you could respond to him was, let's be respectful. To who? I find it appalling that you would not defend a resident over what was being said. He made such incredible points, incredible for laymen to understand. When this TC, and you had two TC members that took back their votes and forced a revote on May 17th. And this planning board is now going to vote on something that you haven't even read the environmental study, and you're going to take ownership of that. Why is the town lawyer not being fired over representing us so poorly? A statement was made at the May 17th meeting that if they pulled back from the settlement, we'd be open to all these lawsuits. And he went so far, Mr. Buzek went so far to say that if we reneged on the settlement agreement, that he would quit. Good riddance. Good riddance. Find another attorney that's going to represent the residents. The people on this planning board are residents of the community. McManus doesn't live here. Buzek doesn't live here. But all of you that are on this planning board do live here, and you're going to have to own it, because the concerned residents have risen and they are not going away, and they are powering up for a major lawsuit based on the decisions that the TC makes and this planning board. So get ready, because you're going to have to own this, all of you, as residents like we are. It is disgusting that we even have to get to this level to have to listen to a McManus and listen to a Buzek tell us how we should be voting because of a state mandate that is stigmatizing families and a community when no feasibility studies were done. This whole thing is an atrocity. And if you want to take personal liability, each one of you, and sign on your agreement tonight that each of you will put your houses up for collateral, that each one of you are going to own the future possible lawsuits against that site, and it's a dump. It's a dump, not DPW, like Alex McDonald said. It is the dump. It has historically been called the dump. It's always been called the dump, and it is the dump. So I think all of you, which I'm used to being ignored, but I still show up, but I'm used to being ignored, as many other residents tonight who have spoken up are used to being ignored. We know how you're going to vote because it's just predictable. It's absolutely predictable. And I wanted my statement on the record that you need to start representing the Millburn residents, all of us, 100% of the community. Who cares what Beth McManus says? Who cares what Buzek says? Start thinking with your own heads and stop being puppets for other people. It's appalling. So go ahead and take your vote, because everybody's now watching, but unfortunately, it's going to be too little too late, because all of you are going to have to own this. So I'm really curious to know if all of you are willing to put your homes on collateral for this future and own this. Thank you.
Okay, we thank you for your statement. I don't think there were any specific questions that we need to respond to. I think we hear.
No, there is no question. It was a statement.
The only statement I want to respond to is that I'm not the township attorney. I was not at the May 17th meeting, and any statements that were attributed to me at that meeting did not occur because I was not at the meeting. I'm not the township attorney.
No, you did not say it at the meeting. It was said by Tara that you said that you were going to quit if we pulled back from this meeting, if we pull back from the settlement agreement. You can go back and listen to the meeting. It's all recorded. Thank God these meetings are recorded, but it was a statement made. So you're going on the record to say that if one more member voted against taking a pause, you're going on the record by saying you were not going to quit?
So Ms. Stone, thank you for the question. This is not a case of Ed going on the record as to what was said about him.
Okay.
I don't want to take that item at this meeting.
Exactly.
I don't think that's
you don't
what
want
we
to
need.
own it. Nobody wants to own anything, but you're going to own the vote
Thank
tonight.
you for your statement. We were respectful of your time and we let you speak and heard you.
Well, you're the
There
one
were
conducting this
several
meeting, and
personal
you're the one-
attacks issues.
You're the one that let a lot of people talk for a very long time, and I had a lot to say. All the questions that I had were asked, but it is absolutely outrageous that you're going to take a vote on something that you haven't even seen the environmental report. When we have, it's unbelievable when people don't even know about what's going on. Disgusting.
Okay. Eileen, I think we see one more question.
I'm bringing over Oyen Olabi. I see two
Mhm.
hands from people that have already.
And I
spoken,
think
so
we're
I'm
going
gonna
to
bring her over
continue.
because I know she hasn't spoken yet. There we go.
Hi, Oyen, you should be in here and able to unmute.
Hi, good evening. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you for bringing me on. I would like to echo a lot of things that we've heard from residents tonight, that I feel like we all should, take a pause and, review, the results before we take any decisions. I don't want to sound accusatory, but I really I would like to know who's behind the scene making all this push and all this decisions, because the residents have spoken. They all want us to revisit this, and as one person said, this is a dump. It is not a DPW. I don't think any one of us would want to put our family in that space. And I feel like, I said it at the township meeting, it is a lawsuit that's ready to in a couple of years, if one child gets sick, an adult, cough, will be sued. So if we're thinking that by building on this dump site, that we're doing, some low income family a favor, we're not. We really aren't. People are selling their homes. People are moving out of Millburn Short Hills. We're trying to get people, to come into our town, to stay, to love what we love and while we're here. And I think we really need to sit down and really rethink this and hear our residents. We need to hear and listen to what they're saying, what they have to say. We are all being put in a position for a reason to be able to make really good decisions, concrete and sound and common sense decision. And I think if we sit down, no one is saying we don't want affordable housing in Millburn Short Hills. We just want it to be done right. Exactly what we did with the Upton is what we really need to look at. And I'll give you an example. If we bring a low income family, to this dump site, whenever any kid, come out of that building, they're stigmatized. I mean, I've said it so many times. Other residents have said the same thing. It's very simple. If you're walking out of that building, people know that you're coming from an affordable housing unit. So if we really want to do low income family a favor, I think we need to sprinkle them around town. I think we need to find a better solution for this. I've said it so many times in several meetings, and I just feel like we're just not being heard. We're not being listened to. So I would want us to take a pause into making any kind of, doing any voting, or I heard some residents are saying that if we don't go through with this, we just need to go through with it. Why the rush and why the push? If we don't go through with it, what will happen? What's the worst that can happen? The worst that will happen is that we get sued. We already being sued left and right, and we will have more lawsuits if we build this. So, I would just want to add my 2 cents again, calmly, I beg of all of you to make sure you read the environmental report and do right by the residents. Please listen to us. Just hear us out. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for the comments.